So, the word for the divine presence is who. So, may we start with 3 who's together? I invite you to place a hand on your heart so you can also feel the vibration and the energy of this vast and infinite heart that you have. A few inches below your nose. Just really feeling your heart. It's beating effortlessly, faithfully. And still no one knows where the electricity that allows the nodes, which literally, if you know how to read Arabic, spell out Allahu with every beat, literally, that allows the heart to contract and expand. Where does that electricity come from? So together we inhale. The glance, the simple glance of my beloved Sufi master killed me at the age of 14. I left my body to the left, and when I returned, minutes had passed by. A glance of a being, the power of that. So I want to start, as always, gratitude to all the amazing women and men, saints, mystics, prophets, real scientists, known and unknown, visible and invisible, that have come before me, that have come before us, that have paved the road that without them, I wouldn't know the difference between my right and left hand, let alone know there is more to this in this life. So I owe everything that I have to them. And a deep, deep in a corner, cozy corner of my heart, deep appreciation and gratitude for Lisa and for Maurizio and Zaya and for all the amazing staff and volunteers that are manifesting the idea and the concept and the theory of love for this to happen. Because Rumi says that all we need, all that is needed for that which is here to reveal itself is that love. But in English, we only have this L-O-V-E, and it doesn't do justice. The word love, ishq, in Persian and in Arabic, the word that Rumi uses, the closest thing it can be translated to is passionate love. Passionate love, this fire, this burning love inside of you that you were born with, that allows the entire galaxy, this entire vast and infinite compassionate universe to exist. The word ish comes from the root word ashaqe, and ashaqe is a plant from the ivory family that sprouts out and then finds its object of love, and it starts to twine itself around it and wrap itself around it until it becomes one with it. So even in the word ish, love, longing, loving, and union is embedded. Rumi says, if things were as they appear, then the prophet whom he loved dearly, the Prophet Muhammad, wouldn't have said, "O Lord, show us things as they are." So same thing with love or longing or any concept or theory that we may have. Rumi says there was someone sitting at the bank of a river, and then another person comes and slaps him behind his neck. And he just jumps up, shocked. Imagine behind your neck if anyone slapped you. It hurts. And then the man who slapped the other man says, hold on, before you react, can you tell me if the sound of the hand when I slapped you was from your neck or from my hand? And the person in pain said, oh, you fool, I'm so one with my pain, I don't have time for your theories. So another thing is pain. Pain is so welcomed in Sufism. Pain is it, inviting the pain. 700 and some odd years ago, before transpersonal psychology in the West realized you have to meet your pain and be with your pain and feel your pain, Rumi said, the pain is the inviter. He says in one of his poems that every affliction that comes to your body and heart pulls you by the ear to the abode. So it's a blessing in disguise. It normalizes this thing we call life. That love requires that single-mindedness. When the teacher says, sit and just look at this candle, before they teach you meditation, they teach you concentration, because without concentration and attention, nothing can exist. But in Sufism, they say the reason you do that is when you pay so much attention to that which you are so in one with, and all your attention is there, and everything else falls away, your frequency and its frequencies become one, and it's only then you can say, I know something. And it's in that level the Sufis invite us to bring all of that attention into our hearts, which is the threshold between the world of the seen and the unseen that coexists at the same time. Even to call them seen and unseen is too much. And that's the doorway. Parvati Ji, Ma, was saying that when she went to her guru, she asked her guru, how can I be your student? And he said, did you eat anything? You're hungry? Go eat. So she went and ate. And for 15 days, she sat and waited in his ashram. He acted like she didn't even exist. And then on the 15th day, the guru said, come with me. And the rest is history. That level of love and dedication, which we all have, we put that in our world, in the money, the alphabets behind our names, with everything on this world. So it doesn't require anything extraordinary. It's the same energy. And the Sufis and the mystics just say, turn it back. Turn it back. The word tobe, which literally means repentance. But I know in the West, the word repentance has negative connotations. But like metanoia, which was the original word for repentance, is a homecoming, a returning. Tobe means to, you, be, come back in. So every moment we come back, every moment we're in the heart, it's a moment of homecoming. And we can do that amongst the world and with everyone. It doesn't require us to take days off or go places or detach or divorce from the world. Because where is in the world that which we are looking for does not exist? How could it? If it did, it would be flawed. So then we have to question on our own beliefs and worldviews or concepts that we inherited without questioning, without experiencing, without drowning in them. You have to marinate in them. I always said to myself that if I was ready enough, if I was worthy enough, not the Western worthy kind of a thing, the spiritual worthiness of the East takes a long time to explain, which comes with humility, is that all I needed was one sentence from a mystic or a prophet. And if I could just know that, the entire universe would open up, because they're all our fingers pointing to the moon. Maulana is Rumi. Maulana means our master. He has this beautiful poem that it has rarely been translated, if at all. So much of his poems have not even been touched or translated. In this beautiful poem, which I will share with you, he juxtapositions the two ways that this life could be experienced and seen. And he uses the breath. He says, if the breath is taken in such way, this is the way it will be. If it's taken in this way, this is the way it will be. But before sharing with you these lines of his poem, which, as I said the other night, they're not really poems. And he wasn't a poet in the sense that we know in the West, someone who sits and contemplates and kind of gets inspired and writes a poem. He was a mystic, he was a saint, he really got lost in love. And the majority of his, what we call poems, which we call sacred verses, came through him, and others wrote it down. For 37 years of his life, he never wrote poetry. Imagine that. That kind of really challenges the Western mind of, no pain, no gain, and do this and do all of that, because it leaves out divine. It leaves out room for grace. It leaves out room for miracles. There's so much me and there's so much I gotta do. There is no room for the beyond. But then if we question and look at it, we say that that's what we're looking for. But we occupy this space too much with me. For 37 years. But then the glance on the meeting of Shams, this wandering dervish, who was not a wandering dervish, was an incredible, intelligent human being, learned man. And with his disappearance, if we were to use interfaith language, which I'm not too keen of because it taints everything, because a lot of the view on Rumi is through the Judo-Christian lens, which has its own place. But it doesn't allow for us to really hear what Rumi said in his spiritual and cultural context. He showed up as a guru for Shams, if we were to use that terminology. And when he left and disappeared, that burning love that he had for his teacher had him pour all 70,000 lines of poetry for the rest of his life. And he found the Satguru within, the real teacher within. The word for breath or inhalation in Persian is dam. Dam. And the word for what we call exhalation is bazdam. Bazdam. We have dam and bazdam. And baz means again. So you have inhalation and inhalation. There is no exhalation. Because one inhalation is you breathe in. What we call exhalation, the beloved is breathing you in. It's that intimate. It's that intimate if we only pause. We don't need to go to countries and mountains or anywhere else. Rumi says, oh, pilgrimage, where are you going? The beloved is right here, right? He honored the form too. There is place for form, but he had reached the inner meaning. Because spirituality, in a way, is a journey from form to inner meaning. Everything has a form. Prayer has a form. We have a form. To the discovery of the formless, the inner meaning of everything. So there's only one breath, breathing itself. So Maulana says, آن نفسی که با خودی یار چو خار آیدت وان نفسی که بی خودی یار چه کار آیدت. When the breath is taken with the sense of identity, me, personality, conditionings, the guide, the friend, the signs show up as a thorn, confusion. We don't get them. But when the breath is taken with the sense of is-ness, there is no need for a form, for a friend, for you are one. So he starts this juxtaposition between the two. When the breath is taken with the sense of identity, the friend appears as a thorn. When the breath is taken with the sense of is-ness, there is no need for a friend, for you are one. When the breath is taken with the sense of identity, you are a prey to mere mosquito. When the breath is taken with the sense of is-ness, even a lion will be your prey. When the breath is taken with the sense of identity, you are attached to the cloud of sorrow. When the breath is taken with the sense of is-ness, the moon herself becomes your companion. When the breath is taken with the sense of identity, the friend is out of your reach. When the breath is taken with the sense of is-ness, the love of the friend draws nearer to you. And the word friend with the capital F is referred to the beloved, the one, or one's true teacher. When the breath is taken with the sense of identity, you are as lethargic as autumn. When the breath is taken with the sense of is-ness, even winter will feel like spring to you. And in the next few lines, he touches on duality and non-duality. The source of all your restlessness springs from your desire for rest. Abide restlessly as the self, and you will attain equanimity. The source of all your misery stems from your desire for stability. If you abandon your desire, poison transforms to honey. The source of all your misery, the source of all your aimlessness stems from your desire to attain a goal. Otherwise, all goals unfold naturally and arrive garnished when left alone. Fall in love with being in the company of the friend, not with the friend's kindness. So the flirting, imageless image of the beloved could be revealed to you. And on the last line, referring to his beloved Shams, he says, when the sovereign of the eastern sun of faith arrives from Tabriz, verily in comparison, the moon and the stars won't even be of any significance. When the real sun shows up within our hearts, even the moons and the stars won't be of any significance. love and devotion, and turning the pain through the alchemy of the heart with the help of grace into honey, into sweetness. In the Persian tradition, at the end of the poem, if it's 11 lines, 7 lines, the poet usually mentions his or her name or nickname or pen name. And Rumi always used his beloved teacher's name. And he called his book of the poems of love as the Divân of Shams of Tabriz. So people at the beginning were confused. They're like, are these poems that Shams wrote? Because he lost himself in the love for his teacher. And another word that he used so much that people thought that might be his pen name is khamoosh. Khamoosh. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Silence. Silence. It's interesting because he says that I can write about almost anything in this world. And he could, because by the age of 37, he had 10,000 students. That's a lot, 750 some odd years ago. Over 10,000 students, lay people, women, men, people of government. But he said that when I want to speak about love, my pen breaks in two. Said the man who wrote over 70,000 lines. So we need the words. He's gifted us the words. But he always says, khamoosh, keep quiet, silence. Because the finger pointed to the moon, it's really beautiful. Lots of theories there, a lot of books, lots of modalities. But it's only love, it's only grace, it's only that burning heart. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter when we live, where we live. That's the specialness of me. Every culture, every era thought is either Armageddon or we have the best consciousness ever. We're going through the same thing, trust me. There's nothing special. So, the guru is also exists. The teacher exists. The question is not if they exist or not. The question is, where is your burning heart? That you could pray for it, you could seek it, and you could always keep one eye inside. That's the question to answer. Because out there, the world comes and goes, fads come and go, things come and go, and they feed us how the consciousness or how the world is supposed to be. I don't know. I hear it again and again, then I am convinced, oh, that's where we are. But what does it matter when you are taking that last breath on your deathbed? How much of this is going to help me? And that's why Shams challenged Rumi. What do you know? He made him throw away his father's books. He said, what do you know? That was a lot to let go, because he couldn't just go to Google Docs and download a free PDF. Let it go. Let it go. What do you know? What do you know? And so, it's the burning heart. The world comes and goes. Many say many things, including me up here. But what do I know? If I really want something, how much of my time and energy do I put for it? How much am I in my body? Islam and Sufism that have shaped and taught Rumi to become who he is an extremely embodied religion and spirituality. The concept of spiritual bypassing doesn't even exist because it's all here. It's here. The 5-time prayer that the Muslims do, when you look from the side, from the profile, it spells out La ilaha illallah. Even the form of the prayer spells out the ultimate goal, the ultimate law, the law of existence through the lens of Islam and Sufism. La ilaha illallah. There is no thing but the one. So even when you pray, your body is doing that. It's spelling it out. But the Sufis discovered these things. They went into their heart. They marinated in their heart, in their love. They just marinated. They didn't have the spiritual ADHD that we do. They don't have the buffet of all the information. I too believe, like beloved Parvati said, it's like take one well and go as deep as you can. Because if you do believe, or you think, or even believe the concept that all is one, and all there's this river underneath it all, then why doubt yourself? Go deep into that one. If all the wells reach the one, practice it. Do it. Life is really short. Life is extremely short. A glance of a being killed me at the age of 14. A simple yet profound glance. May that glance, may that love, may that protection, may that infinite, impersonal, compassionate existence bring you closer to your heart's longing, the deepest desire that you have inside of you, which Rumi says can't be anything but you wanting to know who you really are. And for the drop to become one with the ocean. And when it does, what is there that it doesn't know? And it cannot know. Please stay in touch. Let me know how I can be of service. If you have any questions around any of Rumi's teachings, you can find my email and cell number. Call me anytime, email me anytime. Thank you.